Welcome to the Wasted Time Podcast. I am your host, Kevin, and once again, we are here with the voice of a generation, Shauna. How's it going? That's you!
Okay, it is me, correct. But when you say you're the host, does that mean like you're the host and I'm just like here? Or am I like also
No, you're also the host. Well, you're really the talent. You're the talent. I am
the talent because it sounds like you're pimping me out.
Yeah, wait, you don't like being called the talent, or you do?
No, I don't.
You're the talent though. Okay, so
I like to think of this as like an
like,
NPR Fresh Air episode where we just talk about the haps of the.
Hey, this is NPR.
Ooh, that's not bad.
And this is the new Fresh Air episode.
I like Terry.
I am your host, Kevin Gilreath, and I'm here with Shauna. Shauna, how's it going?
Honestly, 10 out of 10 for I liked it. I don't like it enough to ever hear it again, but I thought you did a great job.
Thank you.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm doing really good. I'm drinking wine today. And
what are you drinking today?
It's called.
Let's start off there.
Shine. It's just called Shine. I base my wines off of how much I like the bottle art because I'm a kind of.
I feel like that's a fair thing.
Yeah, right. I don't want to drink some because there's this one wine that is like tasty, but there's like this like I don't know, like the girl from like The Rings on the front, and it's like scary, and I don't want to drink that because it's too scary.
Right. There's like a wine that's out there that has like convicts on it or something.
Convicts.
Yeah, like different like mugshot shots or something. It's like
odd choice.
You can like collect them. You know what wine I like have? I'm unashamed to say I have.
Go ahead. What is it?
Train, the band, makes a line of wines.
You should be ashamed to say that though.
I am not at all. I'm a big fan of Train.
I got a car accident to Train, so I will never listen to Train.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Explain.
I was 19. That song that's like, "Hey Soul Sister."
Yeah.
I was like going to a music festival the next day for not even any music related. And I wasn't going for the music. I was going for the drugs. This is a long time ago. And I was all pumped up. So I started listening to this song by Train and then
"Hey Soul Sister," so on and so forth.
It's traumatic for me. And I was driving down the road and blah, 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 blah. I sneezed. Have you ever had a sneeze that just gets stuck and you can't actually sneeze?
Yeah, you're like,
yeah. So
and it's like stuck in your nose, yeah.
Yeah, you can't open your eyes. Like you basically have a mini stroke. And that's what happened to me. I was trying to sneeze but couldn't sneeze, blew a stop sign. Crashed into somebody. Oops. I was going 20, so it's not like everyone died. We're all fine.
Okay.
But Train was playing in the background, and it's just like the worst song because everything's upbeat, but you're like filling out a police report, broken glass everywhere. Like,
"Hey Soul Sister."
Yeah. I fucking like that. Also, they shouldn't produce a wine. Weird marketing tactic.
Well, okay, so Train's from they're like based out of San Francisco. Pat's from San Francisco.
San Francisco wine place? I guess Napa Valley. Is that close? I don't know.
Yes.
I'm not
and so like
from California. Sorry, like you're very cool. Cali.
A very cool California guy.
Yeah, I'm from freaking south of Boston, so
I'm from Boston, son.
You've been singing that.
You know, you being from Boston, you don't. Where's your Boston like accent?
I got rid of it purposefully. So I moved to New Hampshire when I was in 7th grade, and everyone made me say "park the car in Harvard Yard" because they're like, "She's from Boston." It's funny because we've never met someone from the city because we live in the woods. And so I like spent a full summer getting rid of it, and I never ever had it again.
Interesting.
Yeah, so peer pressure made me have a normal accent.
Made you change the way you spoke.
An entire summer. I'm not even joking. I watched E! News every day, and I was like, listen to how Juliana Rancic talks. How Ryan Seacrest he says his R's. And so I figured it out, and here I am. Better
Ryan Seacrest.
Well, that's not a good example because, it's not like I was like mispronouncing Ryan. Just if there's an R at the end of a letter or like a word, Boston people just don't like to say it just to piss people off.
So you say car with no problems.
Yeah. Also, I haven't lived in Boston a long time.
20 years?
So, yeah, I mean,
15 years?
I think we moved, 7th grade. How old is that, like 12?
It's almost 20 years.
I moved in the middle of the year, which was a bad time because everyone notices.
Wait, so did you move in the middle of the school year?
Yes. I show up after, so I moved over winter break, and I show up, and everyone's like there's no one in this school. I graduated in a high school of 800 people total, so there's only 200 people in my graduating class. And so everyone, noticed a new person.
They all, noticed.
And they kept being like, "Are you Asian?" Because my last name's Yanchuk, which, first of all, doesn't sound that Asian. Second of all, I could arguably look the least Asian in the entire world.
Yeah, you don't look Asian. You don't have
I'm just
Asian mistake.
I'm super bland. I'm like the unseasoned chicken of America. I'm super white.
Okay.
Super blonde. There's nothing interesting about me. I'm a human potato. But yeah, they kept being like, "Are you Asian?" And I was like, "No, fucking stop." And then they didn't care about me after like 2 weeks. So anyway.
How
train has a wine, am I right?
I've always thought it was weird though, like when kids move in the middle of the school year. That seems always like super tough.
It's not the best. I'm not like traumatized for it. It's fine.
Right, but like, okay, so making friends is already hard, right? I mean, no matter how you slice it.
That age sucks in general because you're like, first of all, for girls especially, because you're getting titties and you're like, what do I do with these? Do I hide them? Do I flaunt them? I chose to hide them. And now I am emerging and flaunting them late into my 20s. It's a real winter. And also you get your period and you don't know what to do. I got my period very early. Why am I always talking about my period? I just find it interesting. I think periods are the grossest but most interesting thing ever. But you don't know what to do with it. Like, you get your period and you're like afraid you're like leaving snail trails of blood all over school. It's like the worst thing.
And then you're doing this at like a brand new school.
Yeah. With
new kids that have no idea who you are, but snail trail girl.
No, that's not catching on. We're not calling me snail trail girl. No, but also boys are just learning that their dicks like do things. And so they're starting to be like extra horny. Because I remember I was actually talking about this yesterday. How when I first got to that middle school, I was in a woodshop class with a notoriously creepy teacher. But that's not the main focus of this story. Although every woodshop teacher is like weirdly into little girls. Sorry, it's just at least
okay.
And so, yeah, right. It's gross. They're always like, "Let me show you how to use this hand saw, table saw," and they like come behind you, and you're like, "Ew, you're like 50," and I'm 13. But anyway, this kid, he came up to me and he was like, "Hey, you have a nice ass." And I've never heard that before in my life, and so I was like, "Thank you." And he's like, "But you're not as hot as you think you are." I'm like, "I'm just trying to listen. I'm just trying to exist."
So he said, "Listen, I like a little bit of a feature, but let me just let you know that you're not hot shit. I'm negging you so that way you could get on my level."
I didn't know what his he was like, "Here's a compliment," and then I rip it away from you. And I was like, "What do I do with this?" And I never forgot he said that to me, because in high school, I did not fuck with him. I did not like him because he made me very embarrassed in front of the entire class right away by being like, "Listen, humble yourself, bitch." And I was like, "I didn't say anything."
Sit down. Be humble.
Yeah, I was like, "That's so rude. I didn't say anything about... I just was here." I'm sorry. I'll just go die.
Do you think this was his way of flirting with you?
Probably, but I don't know. I did not talk to him very much after. And then another kid like stood up for me, but he stood up for me like 3 or 4 months later. It was weird. He's like, "I'm gonna beat that kid up." I was like, "You don't have to. I don't really care." And then he poured soda.
He's like, "I've been mulling it for a while, and what he said to you last December was not okay."
He's like, "I've been having a lot of mirror chats with myself and pumping myself up, and I'm really gonna take action." And I was like, "I don't even know why you're talking about it anymore." And apparently, the same kid who gave me the compliment and ripped it away in front of everybody also called me a skank, which is like very weird because I was 1, a virgin, and 2, not dating anybody ever had never really dated anybody ever. How are women called skanks? Or girls, 12-year-old girls called skanks? What a weird life. But he called me skank, and then this other kid who like avenged for me like spilled coke all over his head. And
was
anyways,
this the second kid? Was a second kid that came to your defense, or was
no,
this the same first kid?
I'm realizing now that this kid who said that, I let him finger me in 8th grade. I suck. I guess it works. Never mind. Okay, so I guess the point of the story is the women, it works. They love it.
So
they spend years talking about it, and then they let you finger them.
So the kid
I forgot that detail.
The kid that called you a skank and told you that you had a nice ass, you let him finger bang you.
Me not to let it get to my head.
Wait, the ass or the
like,
finger
the
bang?
Ass. He's like, you have a nice ass, but you're not that good, bitch.
He said, I'm gonna get up in that later.
I know. I was like, I have to prove to him I'm not a skank. Here, finger me. In a barn. In a barn? Isn't that super New Hampshire? In a barn. On top of haystacks. I'm not even making this up at all. That's my youth.
How'd you even get to a barn? Who has a barn?
He lived next to a barn. I don't know whose barn it was.
Then why were you at his house?
Oh, because I don't know. Okay, this is getting into a deep history of this kid.
Yes.
He dated my friend in 8th grade, and I was like, okay, that's cool. And then he was like, but now I want you. And I was like, fine. And I went to his house because we went swimming in a river, which is very sexy. I went fully clothed because I was not comfortable with my body. And then we went to his house, and we went to his neighbor's barn, where I learned that I did not like what he did. And I was like, this gave me no pleasure at all.
Did he call you a skank again?
No, he turned gay in high school.
What? Yeah. Whoa!
It's a really weird timeline.
What?
I didn't turn him gay? ? I like to think I didn't, because I know that you're born gay, so obviously fingering his way through his like denial. But I'm glad to be the last finger of a fake straight.
So and now he's living a nice LGBTQI life.
I don't know. I heard that he's like on heroin now. It's real sad.
It's a real. Listen, that took a turn.
Yeah, he lost all his teeth.
Whoa!
I don't know. Just don't live in New Hampshire too long, or that can happen to you.
You gotta get out.
Unless you move to Portsmouth, which is just rich people New Hampshire.
Okay, so if you were to do like we did last time, the Hunger Games, is Portsmouth like District 1?
Yeah, where they're like, oh, this wine and cheese is so good, I'm going to vomit it up and eat it again.
Okay. And then where did you live? What district did you live in?
Okay, so I lived in, I don't know. The Hunger Games is very hard. I don't know much about the districts. I lived in a town that was both rich and poor, and guess which one I was? And because it was like vacation central, but also like poor man.
Okay, so in the districts of Panem, District 1 is the life of luxury.
I wasn't like standing outside of bakeries in the rain asking for bread, but I was more like I had a job if I wanted to.
Okay, well, District 2 is masonry and defense.
Fine. I'll be District 2 because there's a lot of defense going on where I was.
Okay, District 3 is technology.
No, it definitely wasn't that.
District 4 is fishing.
Oof. Maybe we have to switch to that. I didn't do a lot of fishing, but there's a lot of seafood. Well, no, I'm lying. You don't live near the ocean at all. Keep going.
District 5, they do like the power stuff. Their power plants and electrical and whatnot.
Is there one for like breeding pigs?
Yes, District 10, livestock.
Right, and I'm District 10. The highlight of our year when I grew up there was going to the Freiburg Fair, which was in Maine, and seeing like the fattest fucking pigs. We're like, that's a fat hog. And that was like the whole year. That's it. See you next fall.
Okay, so that makes sense then. So you guys were a District 10 type area.
Who died in Hunger Games 1 from District 10?
Hunger Games 1?
Well, yeah.
Wait, you mean the movie or the first Hunger Games?
Hunger Games. Oh my God, are you serious? The first movie. I'm not asking Hunger Games 1, the original, like, of the book.
The first Hunger Games. I don't know who died from District 1, okay. District 10 in the very first Hunger Games. But let me see. District 10.
I have to open up a bottle of wine. It's going to be interesting. I'm very bad
at it. I'm drinking Bud Light Seltzer.
Ew.
Have you had those?
Yeah, they're gross.
I like them.
They can't ever change. Like, they're just disgusting.
I'm a fan. But let me see here.
Good for
District
you.
10. District 10.
The first. I feel like he's one of the people who died within, like, right away. Like the 74th Hunger Games. When they're like right out the gate and someone immediately gets like sniped by an arrow. That's probably District 10 because it's fucking bitch.
District 10 had
shit. Where's my wine opener?
Victor,
who died?
Annie, and let me see here. The Victors from District 10.
Wait, are you talking about the 75th, the quarter, or the I don't know.
Not the quarter quell.
Oh my God, this is so much Hunger Games references. Jameson, can you open this bottle? Oh, he left me. Oops. Yeah, I've been living alone this whole time. I forgot to mention that. Can you open this bottle of wine? I'm not good at this part.
So I am.
Jameson wants me to let you know that he's very good at opening wine. Okay, crisis averted. Can you switch from white wine to red wine? It'd be fine. Okay. Okay, great. Cool. Okay, I'm back. Sorry. Back.
Welcome back.
I had to get my alcohol. Wine makes me so nice, and it's actually a problem.
How's that a problem?
Because I'm not nice by nature.
Are you just like mean or what?
No, I'm just like too cool, you know? And then when I drink wine, I'm like, oh, what's your muffin recipe? And also, I love you. It's like, ew, who am I? Okay.
It didn't have a name for the District 10 Victor.
So died right away. I guarantee it. But yeah, that's New Hampshire.
Yeah, it was just District 10 male, District 10 female. District 10 male died on the 8th day from careers. He placed 10th out of the 24.
How would you do in the Hunger Games, do you think?
Oh man, it would be bad. Okay, so I'm going to for sure die, obviously. I'm not winning this thing.
I don't think I would die right away, but I definitely probably would be dead overall.
Yeah, by like day 3. What I would probably do is try to like
confidence.
Well, I would try to like team up because so living here in Vegas.
You trust alliances though?
You have to, right? Because like those kids were hunting in packs.
Well, yeah, that's why you gotta fucking get the aerial advantage, dude. I know tracker jackers.
But the tracker jackers.
I knew you were gonna go there.
Obviously.
We need to stop talking about the Hunger Games. Like, what is our obsession with this?
What's wrong with the Hunger Games?
It's like week 4. Like, anyways, Hunger Games, movie 1. Let's unpack it more.
The funniest thing is that I'm not even like a diehard Hunger Games guy.
I'm not.
You know
either.
What I'm saying?
Okay, actually, we could talk about a social aspect. Is that I had never read the book when I saw the movie, and I went with some kid from college who was like telling me I feel like he was trying to get me like to like him or something because he kept telling me all this like cool facts about the book. And I was like, oh, this book sounds dope. Read the book. Everything he said was not true. He like lied about everything.
What?
Yeah.
Or was for like what?
I don't remember everything. I'm trying to remember.
Leave me some of the things, yeah.
I don't know. He said something about Kato, the guy who's like the hot but asshole dude.
Okay.
The guy who's like every like I don't know, like CEO.
He's like a District 2 guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like who owns a yacht and is like rude about it. That guy. He said something about him turning into a wolf himself, and then Killing men.
Oh, did the kid just not really know how to read? Did he just like
Maybe.
interpret it differently?
We went to a college that was only after the check, so perhaps. But it was weird because I read it later and I was like, that kid lied about everything. All of it. So.
Because he was like, Cato's a District 2 kid,
Yeah,
but he was like one of those career kids.
Yeah,
Remember, like those like kids that are like
I've been
devoted
trying
to.
Yeah, my parents birthed me simply to kill other children.
Yeah.
And it worked until it didn't, and then Katniss is like, let's eat the twins' berries, bro, together.
How would you do in the Hunger Games?
I think, okay, I'm very scrappy. I am.
Okay.
I'm pretty scrappy. You watched me kick that guy.
Wait, are you going for the cornucopia at first?
I don't even. Oh yeah, I forgot what that was. No, I'm just trying to run the fuck away.
Right, I'm just trying to get to a spot to hide.
I'm a flight and then fight kind of bitch.
Okay.
Like, I'll fight if I have to, but you don't want that mess.
You're trying to run first.
Yeah, I'm gonna run, and then I'm gonna do some light grazing. I probably would die like the fox girl.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I'd eat something I wasn't supposed to eat. That's right. 100% how I die.
That's probably how I would go too. That or I'd probably get killed in my sleep. Because I'm probably gonna sleep. I'm probably gonna snore loudly.
Oh my god, you're absolutely the worst sleeper. You would definitely die that way.
Right, so then they're gonna like know exactly where I am.
Yeah, you
fall
I'm like in a bush and then they find you sleeping. Like, wow, it's almost sad that it's so easy. I would probably choke on a handful of pebbles that I thought I could like suck the water out of and then I'd die. And then, like, she died the way she loved, by being choked. Just kidding, I'm not into that. But anyway, yeah.
So you mentioned something about a dick. Did you watch the most recent episode of Dave?
Oh my fucking god, that show gets me so. Oh god, it's so good.
Such a good
Holy
show.
Shit, it actually blew my fucking brain off because I thought I was gonna be like, oh, my dick's small, and I was like, all right, it'll be funny, but I won't like it. But no, it's so deep and beautiful and lovely. What the hell?
Okay, so full Dave spoilers coming up.
Yeah,
because the series just ended on Wednesday.
Oh,
the season just ended on Wednesday.
Last week's episode, like, it destroyed me emotionally. I watched.
I was so sad about what happened in that.
Though, oh my god, I was like, this is art.
So
Compliments to the
okay,
chef.
so the last two episodes have been really good. The episode where he goes to the wedding with his girlfriend, and I mean, it's just the fact that he chooses his career
over his lady,
over her.
Okay, the thing.
And then if you
go ahead,
listen to the song Molly on his album,
yes,
which I had to like
watched after we watched it.
I had to too.
Yeah,
I did too.
I was like, oh
I
my
did
god,
too.
Season 2, he's totally gonna go to her wedding.
It was such a like emotional. I was like, man, this sucks. Especially because like, you know, the show is autobiographical about Little Dicky's life, and so that episode, and then having already heard Molly many times, I was like, man, this is it. This is that. This is that. And then this last episode, the way it starts off with him playing jail.
So annoyed by that. I was like, after that episode, you're really gonna bring me here. I was really pissed. But then the way they ended that episode, first of all, Gata really is like a beautiful, like, weird character.
I need Gata to win an Emmy for best supporting actor in a TV show, because
I don't even think he's acting. I think he's just himself.
He's
I don't
being
know
Gata.
him at all. I think he's just be Gata on screen. He's like, all right, and he just does it. Like his episode with his bipolar, that was beautiful too.
Yeah,
it came out of nowhere. Because like I think the episode before that, Lil Dicky was like eating his girlfriend's ass on a table. Like, remember that table with like the butthole cut out, so she could like put her butthole up to the hole and he could like lick it. And I was like,
the milking table.
This is what appropriately named. I was like, this is what I expected from the show, and then they gave me a bipolar depression episode with depth. And I was like, what just happened? I'm happy with it.
And then that whole episode with Els and the Asian girl.
Yeah, that was like also the wooden shirt was cool.
Yeah, the wooden shirt was great.
I love that little kid when he falls. Oh,
Yeah.
but yeah, that was. I like that they're okay. So like, I didn't love that episode as much because I was like, I'm not invested as much. Their story's not as deeply.
But the fact that you're getting a whole episode about
cool.
what is considered a supporting character, you're getting multiple episodes about supporting characters.
It's not the first show to do it, and it's have you ever seen Master of None?
Oh yeah. But like, I feel like Aziz. Well, I feel like Aziz didn't really do that in the first season.
Oh, the first season was so good, though. Don't you ever fucking shit on it.
No. I love Master of None.
I'm super upset that it's not coming. Like, it's never coming back. What about Chef Jeff? What happened?
Wait, you don't think it's ever coming back? No. I thought he said that he'll do it when he's ready.
I thought that everyone was like, he's canceled because he was like mean to a date, and I was like, that's not the same thing as Me Too. I'm sorry. Or is this like not territory we can go into? But
from what I was reading, that Netflix said they're still in the Aziz business, but
and the Aziz business. So am I.
Yeah, they're still willing to work with him, but like it's not because he wasn't canceled. He's my favorite too. So he wasn't like canceled, but like it was a bad date, but whatevs. Moving on from that.
Moments. I don't know why we're like banning people from being human beings. Like
it's tough.
I was a total bitch for like 7 years of my life, and maybe I might be to some people still. So it's, like I don't know your opinion, but I don't not like him. Also, Master of None is like the most beautiful intertwining of like actual representation of like life. It's like
it's so crazy because as you mentioned Master of None and how great it is, I feel like that show, Atlanta and Dave are like so real shows.
I
don't know.
I try to watch. Is it serious though? Right?
No,
it's not. Is it funny?
Yes, it's funny. It's funny. It's definitely funny. It's like Dave.
I love serious and funny, like married together perfectly. That's my favorite type of movie and TV show.
Thinking of it, FX has like some really good comedies.
Fuck yeah.
Because Better Things is so good. You're the Worst, so good.
Favorite fucking show that no one knows about. It's so perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, I love Lindsay.
They have Dave, Atlanta.
Yeah, I have to see it.
All of them are so good.
Yeah,
they're all on. Well. It's all on Hulu. Hulu on FX. It's
potential sponsors.
Or FX on Hulu.
Get at me,
FX on Hulu. It's so good. Yeah, it's so good. But like those shows, Atlanta, Dave, You're the Worst, and Better Things.
They also pump out some shit I don't care about though. Like what's that?
Like
what's
what?
That fucking guy's name who's always in Seth Rogen movies, but you don't care about him, and his name's like Harold. Or something.
I have no idea who you're talking about.
Okay, no, it's Jay. It's Jay, but he looks like a Harold. He's
Jay Ellis.
Yeah, I don't care about him at all. Get him away from me. He has a movie or show, whatever, where he's like, I'm dating, and it's weird because I'm like attached to her body, and imagine I'm dating my conjoined twin. It's like, what a weird thing to do. Get off my TV.
It's not Jay Ellis. Jay Ellis is a differn guy. It is Jay.
He's something with an M. He plays like the guy.
It's a show called Men.
Yeah, we don't even care enough to know his name.
Men and Women.
We have Google at
What's the name of the show?
And we're still not even putting it into Google's. I don't want people to think that I like him and like show me ads for a show.
What do you normally Google?
Oh my god, I have so many. This is like the best week for my Google history ever. So it started casually with. So I was talking about watching The Office last week, and I was like. In high school, someone was like, okay, do you remember that blowjob girl video where they're like, yeah, I just want to give you like a really dry blowjob. I'm going to make it so like teethy for you. Do you remember that?
No, but go on. No.
Well, it's like, I think it's a College Humor or one of those sites before they were like really popular. Before YouTube, essentially. You remember like E-Bombs World and all that shit?
Okay, yeah. I do remember that.
So it was a video of this girl. Ooh, that's a nice sound. It's just such a good sound bite of drinks being poured.
Oh, that wasn't that?
Yeah. Super satisfying. The Elkie in me really responds. So there's this video of Ellie Kemper before she's on The Office, and it was her giving like this terrible blowjob, but like you can't see anything. It's like a video.
Right. It was she was acting.
Yeah, and she was like, I'm gonna make it so dry for you. Like, I'm gonna use a lot of teeth. And it's just funny, obviously, because that's the ups of a blowjob. You don't want that. And so I Googled, was Ellie Kemper the blowjob girl? She was. Because people used to say I look like her. I don't look like Ellie Kemper, though. And then that led to another office Google that was, remember that episode where Dwight goes to New York to get bagels and he brings Stanley a pumpernickel bagel? And you're like, why is he bringing that? And the internet says it's racist, but it's not, because pumpernickels are low in fat. So that was just why. The next one I Googled, how many prostitutes are there in the world? Because I'm having a very steamed argument with my husband about how many prostitutes are in the world versus how many professional athletes are in the world, because he's very, very adamant that there's more athletes than prostitutes, which is just like fucking insane. There's no way there's more athletes than prostitutes.
Well, so when he says there's more athletes than prostitutes,
right? I have every.
What does he
ask me so many questions because I have everything covered.
So he's talking about like all athletes ever.
He's talking about professional, like as a means of income. Because we've debated this. He's like, what about fucking minor league baseball? I'm like, there's still more prostitutes if you factor in minor league baseball and all the minor leagues ever. Because I Googled how many.
Is there a way we can get him in here for this?
No, because he's like playing VR, and I don't get to interrupt him during his VR time.
Okay, during his VR session.
He's a VR wife. She's very naggy. And I just am not allowed to.
Oddly enough, her name is Maggie. Maggie, the naggy wife.
If it doesn't rhyme, he doesn't remember her name.
Okay, wait. So more professional athletes
than prostitutes. This is the only way
prostitutes.
It makes sense to me, is that he has no concept of how many people are poor in the world, and therefore how many people use their vagina for an income. Like, he's just grown up in a world of like summer camps and like parents having jobs and like a very privileged life. Whereas like I guarantee like my neighborhood was 100% full of prostitutes when I grew up. I very like adamant that I was probably babysat by one of them. A whore. I had this neighbor who was very whore-like. She would be like, oh, here, play with the TV or like a carrot while I bring your dad upstairs to play pool. Wink, wink, wink. She was a prostitute. I'm not joking. That makes sense to who I am now, right?
It does a little bit. It does a little bit. So,
really weird upbringing.
So when you say prostitutes, you don't mean just like streetwalkers.
I don't mean just like the stereotypical, like, I live at the bunny ranch, and like if you like give my house mom $50, you can like I'll dress in leather suits for you. I mean like exchange of cash for sexual favors at any level, amateur or not. Like if I could become a prostitute in 25 minutes from now. Like it's just that easy to do.
Well, okay, so do you consider dates prostitution?
No, you have to do some sexual shit. Because, like, I mean, like, if I'm trying to get some tapas, I'm not a whore. I'm just hungry.
But, like, okay, so, like, before you were married, before you dated Jameson, if a dude took you on a date.
I never.
The good old dates.
I went on one date before Jameson. One.
Wait, Jameson's the only guy you dated?
No. Okay. One date that wasn't a boyfriend, like a guy who was courting me to fuck me, who never fucked me, and it was one time only. I just spilled so much wine all over my goddamn bed. Oh well. I'll just flip a pillow onto it and not clean it.
Would that make you though? Was that a prostitution time?
No, because I thought that I wanted to. Like, I was like, let's see if this guy is cool. But he showed up and had a broken leg. Strike one.
What?
He had a broken leg. He showed up at my house with a broken leg. Okay, how I met him was, like, 2 weeks before he came to my house with a broken motherfucking leg out of nowhere. I don't even know how he broke his leg. I met him at a party where I was blackout drunk, obviously. And he was like, I have to catch a flight. And I was like, that means you should make out with me. And we made out. And then I went home and we got each other's numbers. And he texted me and he said, let's go on a date. And I said, okay. And he showed up in a cast with crutches and was like, let's walk to dinner. And I was like, fucking great. We'll go 1 mile per hour down the city street while I just like...
Oh, wait, that's fucking grit right there, though. He's like, I know it's broken, but let's fucking
He
walk.
was actually so nice. And so... I don't know why I never dated him. It's probably because he was like, let's go to dinner, but first let's watch a full-length feature film in my house. And we watched Memento, which is like, by the way, not a great movie to watch. It's so much to like unpack. And it's like, this is your date, bro. What are you gonna do to me? I'm so, like nervous. And then we went to a dinner, and he was very like polite yet boring. He was like, do you like music? And I was like, oh god, we're going nowhere. Everyone likes music. That was it.
Where's he at? Is he also now a heroin addict?
No, I don't know. His name is Dexter, though. That's a pretty weird name.
Dex? Did he go by Dex? He should have went by Dex.
I don't know. He's actually pretty good.
I would probably go by Dex.
You know what? I feel like I really went wrong with that one. He's good looking, and he paid for dinner, and he was like nice to me. But I was in a phase of my life where I was like, what does he want from me? He's asking me questions. He clearly just wants his dick touched. And he probably did, but I didn't understand interactions then. I was like, why aren't we wasted? And like, why aren't you ignoring me? So sorry, Dexter. You're pretty all right. He worked at the YMCA. He had a job even.
I think officially going back to, outside of Dex, I think you're right. I think there are more whores than
100%.
pro athletes.
I don't even know what he's talking about. Like, it's so annoying that and it's like not even. It started off as like a funny, like we're joking, and then it started to be like, I'm really mad at you that you won't admit that there are more whores and prostitutes than like baseball players, you idiot. I'm just getting super like I might fucking, I don't know, I might not talk to him for a week if he doesn't come around.
What other quarantine fights have you guys had?
Oh shit, I had a list. I can't remember. Okay. So last night, I'm gonna start. First of all, I'm going to get a nanny cam. I'm pretty sure I need a nanny cam because people don't know what I'm dealing with. Last night, I was trying to sleep, and he kept rolling up into like a weird pretzel position and farting. I'm like, can you fucking stop? I'm like really annoyed by it. I'm like, I looked this man in the eyes and said, I do. I should have had like an asterisk that said I do, as long as you don't fucking make yourself into a human pretzel and then pass gas on me. It's really not cool. Never getting married. Speaking of marriage, you've been dating the same girl for like 170 years. So
yeah, getting married is something you just told me never to get married. So
anyway, well, I get it. I feel like I know Allison's pain because everyone's probably like, Allison, when are you guys getting married? She's like, fuck off. And she like hisses at them. She's like, it's not my decision. Because like society says that the man has to do it.
I mean, we'll get married eventually.
Oh, that's so romantic.
It's not anytime like soon, I don't think.
Well, I'll just get her pregnant if you get bored.
That's the move.
That's the power move. Now you can never technically leave me. You can leave me, but I'll always be kind of around. Yeah.
That's what sounds like the thing to do.
That's romance, baby.
Listen, we've had our fair share of quarantine fights.
Ooh, I want to hear about this.
I mean, who hasn't? Because with this quarantine, you're like around each other all the time.
Yeah, it sucks. I banished Jameson to his VR room. I'm like, go see your VR wife. And then I just pretend I'm like,
go see Maggie.
Maggie. She can nag you about doing the dishes just like I do. Only it's not as big of a threat because there's really no dishes to do in VR land.
Everything's just great with Maggie in VR land.
I imagine that he just like built a whole Sims world that is exactly his life here.
Except with a less Maggie.
Except for, his wife's less bitch. It's like, don't do the dishes. Let me blow you instead. And he's like, yes. This is how you play The Sims, right?
Is this it? Is this that game?
I never played The Sims. I didn't have that game when I was younger. Did you play? You strike me as someone who definitely played Roller Coaster Typhoon.
Tycoon.
Whatever.
Not Typhoon.
I imagine it was a Typhoon. Sorry.
So I didn't play. I played some Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Yep.
I constantly tried to build a roller coaster where it had a piece of the track missing.
Life.
No. In the game.
This is that you're worked at Disneyland, right?
No, I wanted the roller coaster to fly off one track and land on the other.
Honestly,
I thought that would be super cool. Right?
I love destruction.
The amount of times that I try to build the track where it like goes into a upward slope and then the next piece of track comes down so that way it like would fly and then land on it. I built it a lot. I tested it a lot. It didn't work.
You said I lightly played the game, and then you're like, "Oh, I just like engineered this game for like 2-3 years of my life."
No. The reason that this is important is because this one specific coaster was the first coaster I thought of, and it was the only coaster I thought of. And when
what about the
I had 95%, well, I had 95% failed attempts on this coaster, but the moment that it did work one time, I then opened the ride to roller coaster guests, and we had many roller coaster deaths in the game.
But that's what you wanted.
No, I wanted the coaster to be successful.
That's okay. That's what you say to like not your therapist, but to your therapist, you're like, I wanted to watch them burn.
Well, listen,
psychopath.
If I wanted to watch someone burn, which is what I used to do in The Sims, what I would do, I would set a house on fire. I would have a Sim that has no idea how to cook. I would let him cook, right? And then once he starts cooking, he sets fire to the place. But before he sets fire, once he walks in the room, I remove the door.
This is
so
like
he can't
Lord
leave.
of the Flies, but for the internet. They're like, humanity is like built on murder. I mean, like it really is. It's like one of our hobbies. We love murder. Because
it's true. I get it. I understand.
I mean, I used to play Grand Theft Auto, right? Like everyone did, right? I feel like that's like one of our weird like childhood games. And I would, for a long time, I would try to obey the stop signs and the red lights. And then eventually, because I shot someone for that car. So obviously I'm getting pulled over. And then it was like an all out, who and how many can I murder now? And it was like, oh, my number's stoked. I got so many murders today. That's weird.
When I would play Grand Theft Auto, and when I still play Grand Theft Auto, the idea of following the signs on the roads is a novel one. It's one that's new.
It's fun.
And that I would think of doing, and it's fun trying to stay on the tracks and stay on the right path.
I want to be inconspicuous, but like.
But when you play Grand Theft Auto Online though, but if you play Grand Theft Auto Online,
I never lived that.
That's what it is now. There's people just running around these streets. You can't just be like a regular dude just trying to live his life.
Grand Theft Auto Online, like I can just be like a random bystander.
No, GTA 5 has Grand Theft Auto Online where you're playing against other people.
I know I'm 28, but I might as well be 97 when it comes to this shit. Like I have my nostalgia video games, and I don't understand the new age stuff. Guitar Hero.
Do you guys not have any video games at your home other than the VR system that you guys use?
We have. Okay, I mentioned offhandedly one time that I played Just Dance in 2012, and Jameson bought me Just Dance 2019, which is a pile of shit. we play like the most middle-aged like people with joint problems. We play like on the couch, and we don't get up. We just move our arms, and they're like, "Wow, you're doing really great." I'm like, "You have no measure of how we're doing. We're doing really bad if this is what we're doing." And then we have Beat Saber, which is basically Guitar Hero, but way more involved, and I do not like it. We played Poopity Scoop by Kanye West. on Beat Saber.
Okay.
That song is my favorite song for not the right reasons. We play this game where you simulate having jobs because in this world where many of us are unemployed, it's fun to pretend you have a job on VR.
Mm-hmm.
I played gas station attendant the other day, and I just want to set the car on fire.
Wait. This is the VR game?
Yeah, so you can pretend to be a gas station attendant, which is like dream fucking big, yo.
Explain this. Tell me. Okay, so you just work at a counter, and then you like swipe people's like sodas and
like,
gum.
This robot person comes up and they're like, "Hi, human," which is like really degrading. Like, "Hi, human. I want a hot dog," and you have to like go and get a hot dog and grill it and shit. But my thing is, I love throwing shit at the customers. So I take the hot dog, I throw it at their face. I take a Slurpee and I throw it, and I drink bleach and I start vomiting in front of the customer. It's really fun. I just want things to catch on. I want total destruction. I don't want.
What is the name of this game?
Job simulator. You can be an office.
Job simulator.
Yeah, it's really weird. You can be a sushi chef, which I've been. I also threw shit at people and set things on fire. You can be a garage person where you like fix cars, which I also threw shit at the customers and set things on fire. And you can be an office worker, which I've never played. But Jameson tried to Xerox a taco for like 20 minutes.
Okay.
And successfully did so. Because this is just VR land. So really cool. I'm glad that this is the future. I don't like VR. I don't like seeing things in a vacuum where I can't see the real world. So I always play it. I'll put a hood over my ears and stuff. I feel like I'm a little autistic, honestly. Not a joke. I might be autistic.
Okay.
I don't like the feeling that someone might stick something in my ears.
So wait, I want to get back to before you talk about your mental health. I want to talk about Jobs Simulator. I just pulled up the Wikipedia page. Okay. So this game is called Job Simulator: The 2050 Archives.
I don't know why it's called that.
Is
it based in 2050?
The Wikipedia page. It says players participate in simulated jobs in a job museum run by robots, resembling floating CRT computer monitors with faces.
I never knew it was about a job museum.
The jobs are represented as tongue-in-cheek approximations of real occupations. So auto mechanic, gourmet chef, store clerk, and office worker.
Are they making fun of our hard American workers by making
yes, they are.
Satire? Wow! Essential workers are jokes now. Cool PR move, name.
Well, this game came out in 2016.
Well, they should have fucking
So this is before the pandemic.
No, nothing was before the pandemic. The pandemic started life. Life started in 2020.
Imagine when that happened, when they're like, a world before the pandemic?
I can't even think of, like, do you watch TV now?
What do you mean?
In restaurants and you're like, that's not illegal. Like, I watch people at parties, I'm like, 6 feet apart. And I'm like, oh, wait, no, this is before. This is the time, this is long ago time.
Why are they acting together and not through Zoom?
Where's your mask, sir? You're not allowed. Where's the curbside pickup for that bar? Although, if you live down here, there's literally no such thing as a virus where I live. So, Mississippi just decided we're not going to buy into that Democratic bullshit. And there's people... There's people all over the place. Like, the beaches have never... first of all, our beaches are, like, sewage runoff. It's so gross down here. Like, the water's, like, poopy. It's full of shit. Like, when my dog drinks it, I'm like, oh, she's gonna have diarrhea immediately. She loves ocean water.
Ugh.
She loves drinking it, but can you blame her? Gives you a real good buzz. But yeah, the waters are disgusting, and people are everywhere, and they're like spring breaking super hard down here because the city opened up on Monday, just like casually. Mm-hmm. They're like, fuck it, we're open. Like, okay. Like, you must need some Old Navy mom jeans, so let's fuck the health of the the people in most. We don't care about them. Go get some jeans. It's kind of weird. I mean, I drive around and like I don't do anything differently now that it's open. I did go to the beach today, but I go because like there's no one. Like, there's like the popular beach where people who don't live here go, and then there's the no one knows beach. There's probably like 50 people, all very spread out, so I didn't feel that bad. But it's just weird to see that like it's the busiest time in Biloxi history because like real places like New Orleans are still closed. So we're the closest thing to fun, I guess. I don't know.
But Biloxi just said open it back up. I know Georgia opened it up too.
Yeah, I mean, are we really surprised that the South's like, fuck everything, I don't care.
Like you said, I'm not dealing with this Democratic bullshit.
Yeah, they're like, excuse
Let's just
me,
get open.
These snowflakes are saying there's like a, quote, virus, unquote. I've never known anyone with the virus. It's not real. I mean, I did read someone's literal thing on Facebook, their comment that was like, this virus is not real. I've never met anyone with the virus. I'm like, oh, okay. I don't know anyone with AIDS, but I'm pretty sure it's real. So I'm not going to discredit AIDS or the virus or, like, I don't know, herpes just because I've never seen it.
Just because you've never seen it yourself, yeah.
Yeah, but the same people are like, but God's real. Never seen him, but he's real.
I mean, you're very right. Those same people are saying that, and then also saying that the virus is not. It's a weird thing.
I don't know. Living in the South is like I'm like a transplant for like regular people witnessing stuff, and I'm like, wow, this is such a weird place to live. It's all these people. They don't care about anything. I mean, I don't know. I'm just not gonna go shopping or anything until like August. I don't know.
Yeah, I think staying away from that stuff is the way to go.
I mean, I'm okay with never going back to my job since I don't really care about it. But I mean, we're allowed to hang out in groups under 10, but I don't have many friends anyway, so it's not like that's good news to me.
Well, I am your best friend.
For now.
We talked about.
For now.
For now.
You have the worst advice, and also
yes,
advice I've ever heard. So was it
Explain.
like 2 weeks ago or whatever? We've been doing this thing for 1 month, which it feels like I've been in this room like one time doing this podcast once, but it's been 4 times. That's how time is both slow and very long. But anyway,
time's a construct.
Time is a man-made construct. That's just true. But I think it was like the second time. So the first was the first one I got really wasted for. The first podcast, I got like way too drunk. Probably said the word dick about 1,000 times.
It was about 1,000.
Probably.
Engineer Chris checked it out.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah, he did a tally, and it's probably about how I hate blowjobs, which I'm still adamant about. But,
yeah, you were. It was.
I mean, I just want, if I'm gonna give head, I want a high-paying job too. Okay. There can't be a world where I give head and I get paid minimum wage. That can't be a thing.
Fair.
Okay. But anyways, I got super wasted off like toilet wine the first night. And then I texted you super hungover the next day, and I was like, I don't know if I want to do this because I'm pretty sure I'm super fucking annoying and then everyone hates me. And you were like, listen, whoever already thinks you're super fucking annoying and hates you will still already fucking hate you even if you do it.
I mean, that's sound advice. Sound advice.
I mean, it is. I was like, wow, hurtful but true. You're like, not like, oh, people don't hate you. You're like, no, people fucking definitely hate you, but what's this gonna change? And I was like, all right, fair enough.
Listen, because I'm just feeling like you can't be worried about the haters, because if people don't like you, they don't have to listen.
I know, but
I mean, we're an hour into this thing. They can turn this shit off.
I mean, no one's who's listening anyway. 5 people. That's an exponential growth from last week.
Actually.
Oh, Christ.
You ready for this?
No.
Congratulations. We are officially on Google Podcasts.
Ew.
We are on Spotify, and you could be found on Apple Podcasts
drink my
probably next week.
Water if you buy it. What? Nothing.
That's true. Like, see, we're now being worldwide, so people are going to be listening to this.
No. I want to a job after this. I'm so concerned someone's gonna listen to this and be like, listen, if you're not about blowjobs, you can't work for me. A man in charge.
I mean, if you're worried about your work life, we could always just get rid of this.
Well, if it becomes an issue, I'll just change my name and no one will know.
No one will know.
Internet's not like a red mark, permanent ink on your reputation, so it's fine.
Well, so like I was saying though, it's just if people hate you, they'll already hate you.
I know, and it's like fun advice because it's not really advice; it's just true. But it's like I like that most people are like, "Oh no, like you're great."
Everybody loves you, Shauna.
I know that's not true. I know that's not true.
There's people that I don't like. There's people that don't like me. Like that's just how life is.
I think I'm like. Well, no, it's not true. People fucking love you. What are you talking about? You post.
No, people. There are people that love me, but I have definitely people that don't like me.
I don't agree.
There are definitely people out there that don't like me.
Kevin, you post like the most aunt-like statuses that's ever happened. So the other day, you posted a status that just said simply, "I like the movie Coco," and you got like 170 fucking. Excuse me. What? That's not a newsworthy status. 150 fucking people were like, "Yeah, Kevin, cheered you on for that." That's wild. That's nuts. Another time you posted, "Oh, I thought about working out, so I'm basically there." 1,075 likes. I'm like, excuse me, nothing you say has been crazy, and everyone loves it. You're the most popular person I've ever known. That's why I was like, don't post it on Facebook, because that means the whole goddamn state of Nevada and California will know about this podcast.
It's not just Nevada and California. I have friends across the globe.
Okay, brag.
Yeah, I mean, I do.
I have people that are like, I'm friends with her, but like, I'll keep her at a distance. She's alive.
You're not wrong though, because it is really funny when I do post. Because I don't post often.
No, you don't. And when you do,
like I said,
like,
I'm
oh
a boring
God,
follow.
Lord and Savior Kevin. He loves Coco, and therefore I love Coco. You make me un poco loco, Kevin. That's a really good movie, though.
In Poco Loco, it was super good. Me and Austin watched it.
Good.
We enjoyed it, and that's all I was saying was that I can't believe I got around to watching it now. And the people were like, maybe I should check it out now too.
Oh
maybe
God,
I should check it out now too.
Influential, and it's all you do is you just are like, "Hi, I'm Kevin, and I'm listening to you," and everyone's like, "Wow, he's really breaking the fucking mold. He listens to what I say." And that's all I need in a friend, and everyone loves you. So don't even keep that bullshit that people don't like you. I've never met.
No, there's people that don't like me. I have haters. I have haters out there. People that they're not even haters. Like a couple of them. There's a couple people out there. I've given them reason not to like me. From like the most part, though. So I have I had a rival.
Oh boy.
If you will. I'll tell you that story later. We'll talk about that story another time.
Oh.
Yeah. It's a long story, and we're already over an hour in.
But we're cutting 20 minutes.
We'll talk about that later.
We're cutting.
We're already an hour in, so we'll talk about it later. But before we do get out of here, I do want to ask you.
Oh, okay.
Do you have any new dog park stories for us?
Oh, I do. Yes, always do. I always think that the trips to the dog parks are pretty normal, but they're never normal.
Uh-huh.
This time, when I went this week, it was like, it wasn't human. Well, it was kind of human weird. It's usually like a human ruins my interaction, but this time a dog and a human ruined my interaction. So we were playing, whatever. My dog like runs around, does her dog shit. And this other dog comes in, and it has like the biggest ball sack and the biggest dick I've ever. It's like dragging in the dirt. I'm like, okay, your dog's not like, you got to get it fixed. It's gross. It looks like it's bursting at the seams like a very ripe grape, like fresh and gross. And its name's Churchill because I know this because the owners were yelling, "Churchill, stop humping that dog," every 40 seconds. And so the dog would like jump up onto every dog in the dog park and just like start penetrating it.
What?
Yeah, it was so gross. It was like, I'm trying to get my rocks off. Fuck you. And the people were like looking around, like the people who owned this dog would look at the dog, fucking another dog and then look back at the other people and be like, crazy dog. I'm like, no, fucking stop letting your dog fuck everyone in the dog park. How weird would it be if I just started fucking someone at the dog park openly like this? That's so weird. And I was like, if you touch my beautiful, lovely dog, I will castrate your dog. So my dog never got humped and or penetrated. Like, isn't that like I don't like it. But this dog was just running around humping everybody. And the owners thought it was really cute. And like Snapchatted it. I was like, nope, your dog's a rapist.
Wait, they were Snapchatting the rapist dog, Churchill?
Yeah, I was like, yeah, Churchill needs to fucking take a seat. Because he does not own half of Europe right now.
How did you save, June is the name of your dog?
Yes.
How did you save June?
I don't know. June was like, honestly, I think June was too thirsty for it. Because she was like excited. June was running around, like, trying. So she was like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Trying to sniff the penetration. And this other dog was like, listen, you're a thought. I don't like your energy. It's too, you want it too much.
You want it too
much. I like to chase. Yeah. And so she was spared simply for her curiosity. And I'm glad. She's just too young, know. I would have never let him hump. That's disgusting. That's very.
What would you have done?
I don't know. Ripped his dick out of my dog. Oh, it's so upsetting. When I was younger, I watched two dogs fuck, and they definitely got stuck.
Yeah. See, so were you afraid that dog in June would get stuck?
No, I was afraid my dog would be like, I'm being penetrated against my will, which is like awful, awful. Wait, how do dogs get stuck?
I don't know. Let's find out.
Yeah, Google.
Do a Google search.
Oh, I forgot to tell you the last Google search in my life, which was that can vaginas be cold? And it turns
can they?
Yeah. Oh my God! No, the best one. I was reading this book the other day, and she was talking about how she's manic, bipolar, depressing, blah blah blah. That's actually I shouldn't dismiss all that stuff. She's a bipolar manic depressant, not blah blah blah. Pretty awful, but also interesting, because she said that back in the day, people used to, like, women would, they were called hysteric, and they were like, oh, like, anxiety is hysteria, women in their periods, am I right? And then doctors, as a way of coping with this, would masturbate the women to get them to, relax and stop complaining so goddamn much. And so after a while of getting, like, bored of, like, masturbating these ladies, they invented the vibrator as a medical tool to cure hysteria. So the vibrator is a tool to cure women's hysteria that's not even a thing anymore. It's just called real anxiety. That's wild.
Oh, that's crazy.
It is crazy. My vibrator was a tool used for, like, to
calm you down,
to make women just, like, shut the fuck up. Basically, they're like, oh, shut the fuck up, just come or something. That's so weird. And they didn't believe that women could, like, come via sex. So they're like, this is the closest they can get.
This is all I got. This is all I got for you.
I have, like, two different perspectives on this, because one perspective is, like, if I went to the doctor and I was like, I have a lot of anxiety and I'm just stressed, and they started masturbating me, I'd be like, excuse me, what is happening? Please stop touching my clit. And also, I have a lot of stress I want to talk about. You're just touching me instead. The other theory is that if I had, like, a medicinal, like, essentially, like, instead of a medicinal marijuana card, I had a medicinal vibrator card, and I, like, went to work and I was all stressed, and I was like, sorry, I have to go jerk it off real quick, I'm very stressed. And they're like, you can't do that in public. I was like, excuse me, I have a medical note that says I'm allowed to medicinally cure my hysteria in my office. That's kind of a positive.
Kinda.
What? If someone caught you jerking off and you're like, it's medicinal. That's fine, as long as I'm not, like, flaunting it. Like, they breastfeed in public, you can pour, like, a fucking tarp over me. If I put a tarp over and just get crazy with a vibrator, it's curing my hysteria. Leave me alone. Cut to 20 years when I'm a homeless woman in New York feeding pigeons and masturbating under a tarp. And
I
everyone's
like how you said
we saw that
20
coming.
years. That means you're not even 50 yet.
Nope.
You're doing that.
I just want to live my truth as soon as possible. I just feel like everyone will see it coming, and they're like, "Yeah, that makes a lot of sense."
At 48 years old.
Oh, she hasn't hit middle age, and she's already feeding pigeons out of her punani. I essentially want to be the lady from Home Alone 2, who's like, "I'm home."
Yes.
And Kevin's like, samesies. My parents own $1 million mansion in Chicago. They never get cheese pizza. She's like, not the same thing at all. But cool. I'm glad you get struggle.
The Home Alone films are problematic, and
They
we'll talk about that another
are.
time.
I love them now. Oh, I wrote about it in a magazine that totally fired me. Those bitches. We'll talk about
the
that.
magazine fired you?
Yeah, because I asked for money. I was like, hey, I'm like writing for you, and it's been a year, and now you're partnered with Ulta Beauty, the very big makeup store. So there's obviously revenue, and they're like, fired! Get her out of here!
And they grabbed you by the arms and dragged you out by your heels.
By an umbrella hook off stage. No, they don't.
Shauna, we got to get up out of here. Okay? We got to get up out of here.
I obviously have to urinate like I always do.
So. You can find you at Shay_Chuck on platforms. You can find me at KG Fury on platforms, Instagram. Oh, also, also, like and subscribe.
Oh.
You can do that now.
It sounds so
you can
natural.
do that. Yeah,
but you gotta do it the way
comment.
You gotta do the way the YouTubers do, and they're like, "Wow, you just hit that fucking smash that subscribe button.
Just smash that subscribe button.
Yeah.
Follow Wasted Time Podcast. Yeah, just give us some star ratings. Give us some star ratings on whatever you're listening to this on.
Self-esteem rides on this, and if you don't like me, I'm going to have a really rough week.
And if you have like negative comments, we'll probably call you out because we don't give a fuck.
If you have negative comments, then I will only think about it for 36 hours straight. And after that, I'm over it. So go for it.
So give us those 5-star ratings, like and subscribe, do all those good things. This has been fun. I will talk to you next week.
And nothing in between.
Nothing in between because we're only friends. We'll talk on our podcast for our friendship.
Our
Shauna.
friendship is live, Kevin.
Shauna's been a blast like always. We'll talk to you later.
Okay, bye.
Bye.